Welcome to the podcast about venture capital, where investors and founders alike can learn how VCs make decisions and reach conviction. Your host is Nick Moran, and this is The Full Ratchet.
Welcome back to The Full Ratchet. On today's special segment of Investor Stories, the investors address trends, sectors, and markets that they think are positioned for outsized returns in the future. This is the segment called What's Next? On this special segment, we have Cameron Borumand of Fuse VC. Cameron, can you talk about sectors or trends that you're bullish on?
We're big believers in process automation, business process automation, powered by AI, powered by machine learning. I think we still think AI, ML is underhyped rather than overhyped. And so we're investing a lot. We invested in this company, for example, in the agriculture space. They built these large machines that kill weeds using lasers versus the traditional methods of using herbicides or manual labor, primarily migrant labor. And so that company is powered by deep learning. It's powered by AI to identify what's a weed versus what's a plant, the tracking systems. And so these industries, a lot of which have been continuing to operate in similar manners for the past 30 or so years. What are process automation and predictive analytics, AI, ML, whatever you want to call it, whatever type of technology it is, going to continue to transform them. That's what we're fired up about here.
On today's special segment, we have Annie Kadavy, Managing Director at Redpoint Ventures. Annie, can you talk about sectors or trends that you're bullish on?
Yeah. On the consumer side, we look by business model, so mostly marketplaces, networks, and subscription commerce. That's just really a reflection of companies that can achieve, multi-billion-dollar outcomes. It's hard to do it on a transactional e-commerce business. Not to say those aren't fantastic businesses that I have a tremendous amount of like and respect for, but with my Redpoint hat on, typically those outcomes are going to be lesser than the ones that we're looking for. Let's see, as a few specific areas, we've actually been looking at a number of companies in kind of the new generation of travel, which is, a category long littered with failed companies. So we'll see what we find there. But I think there's reasons to believe that there's a generation of people that are thinking about what travel means to them in a different way, where they work, where they live. So we're interested in that. I think we've been quite interested in climate and sustainability, not necessarily investing in carbon capture companies, but thinking about that as a thesis for how people and businesses make decisions in the software that they buy, in the products that they purchase, in the day-to-day decisions they make with their time and money. So those are a couple examples on the consumer side.
That's great. On today's special segment, we have Konrad Waliszewski of Trip Scout. Konrad, can you talk about sectors or trends that you're bullish on?
I think social commerce is going to transform how all of us discover and purchase products online. I think social media is the new SEO. Google actually reported this recently where almost 50% or about 40% of a younger generation, when they're trying to go find lunch, they go to Instagram and TikTok, not Google Maps. And so this is not just you're planning a big trip or you're trying to get entertained. People are going to social media to solve very specific search-based questions. I also believe that we are entering into a world where people are using their phone and using apps more and more and more, but they're using less and less apps and downloading less and less apps. So I think knowing how to meet those customers where they're already spending time, and this could change on your industry, whether this is, be on social or be on Amazon or what have you, but there are going to be a few apps that dominate 90% of our behavior on our phone, and to really lean into that. And, it goes back to our core thesis. I think just organic attention is so rare and so valuable. And if you can figure it out, it's the best customer acquisition and best retention tool that companies have. And especially if you're a consumer-based product, but I don't think it's certainly not restricted to that. And more companies do need to really be thinking about how they're speaking to their ideal customer and how they're speaking to their audience, not just, how they're, pushing a product. And it's going to get harder. already privacy changes on Apple and Facebook and Google is going to make that harder and harder and harder. And so if you don't own a direct channel of how to communicate to customers, you're fighting an uphill battle.
That will conclude this installment of Investor Stories. If you're enjoying the program and would like to see it continue, take a moment and leave a 5-star review in iTunes. Also, if you'd like updates on new content from TFR, as well as the top 10 VC articles every week, go to fullratchet.net and sign up for the newsletter. Okay, that will wrap things up for today. Until next time, over-prepare, choose carefully, and invest confidently. Thanks for joining me.